Hey guys, Matt Jones in Seoul, again just at Changdeok training. Thought I'd make a quick recording here for tonight. It's the 22nd of February, which makes it the 53rd day of what I'm calling 100 Days to Harvest. And I just thought I'd just stop here for a minute and just have a brief reflection around what is this harvest about, and why am I doing it every day, and why am I doing it by myself tonight and not speaking to another person. So firstly, the 100 Days to Harvest, it's a journey as if with a tree growing to fruition. It's recording that journey of the fruit being identified, growing, being nurtured. So come the time of harvest, it can be then yield. The yield can be taken. In this case, the harvest of this thing called the Friendship Tree, a project called the Friendship Tree, which explores the story of friendship between Australia and Korea. The harvest is actually the stories, our stories of friendship. And a good friend of mine, Kyle, made a great comment yesterday to me, and he said basically, look, there doesn't have to be a central narrative line. There's not necessarily a common, consistent story in amongst all of those things. And I really agree with that. I think it's an aggregation of experience rather than one unifying theme. It almost can't be, because it's about people. Everyone's so individual and unique. Even though we come under these banners of different countries, even our perspective of what those countries are differs considerably between each person. So, this journey toward the harvest is me trying to work out where that fruit actually is. If I set about, as I had been in the past, trying just to record stories as I saw them, like meeting people and saying, "What's your story?" I don't think I would have really fully grasped the nature of the theme, which is the stories between Australia and Korea. And so that brings me on to the second point. Why am I doing it every day? It's basically a journal. It's my diary, as much as for me as it is for you. I'm doing it to explore it with you together, and also bring other people into the storyline to get their experience, and to really, it's an invitation for people to also be involved. But it's not just through here that's the invitation. I'll be in the next coming days writing to many people and asking them, so what are their thoughts, and do they have a story, and would they like to share it? So come day 100, it won't be the culmination of the project. In fact, I think by anything, it will be actually beginning. It's worth noting that Korea is in the midst of basically heading toward elections at some stage this year, possibly early May, and that's largely dependent of an outcome from the Constitutional Court. And so the delivery of this project probably won't be until sometime I'd suggest mid-May will be the sort of announcement of where this project's going. And then there'll be some time of actually cultivating and curating the stories, the fruit from this tree. So this 100 days is basically a journal for me to better understand the nature of the subject, to share it with you, and to invite you for your ideas, much like I received from Kyle yesterday. The other thing is, I made a comment the other day that there was no sort of precedence, there's no priority among friendships, and while I stand by that, I also meant that there's more this aggregation of friendships. They're different to one another, and so I don't. What I meant is, I don't mean to diminish a friendship if two people catch up for coffee as less important than something on a seemingly high level business arrangement where billions of dollars are exchanging between Australia and Korea. one certainly will gain more profile, but if we bring it down to the very human nature of story of friendship, it's the aggregation of all those things that make up the friendship and make it special. If we make it simply a question of economic worth, I think we're really betraying the theme of what friendship is actually all about. That story of economic gain or exchange is certainly important and a big part of it, but it's not the only aspect. But coming back to this point of Kyle's, that there's no central narrative necessarily. Although we could tease one out, I think it's a exploration of this aggregation. The third point I had, which I can't remember what I was going to say then, but the first one was to explain what it's all about. The second one was why 100 days. Do you know, I can't remember what the third point was, but I've just been reflecting on that. Maybe I think I was going to say where I'm going to take this project, and so that's why I'm doing it by myself tonight. That's what I was going to say. I've been spending a few days just hunkering down, trying to get some things organised. So it hasn't suited my schedule to actually run about and find someone to manufacture an interview. When I meet people and record things here, they're very organic. They're sort of pretty spontaneous. So I don't necessarily schedule in someone to speak to them. But in the coming days and weeks, in the last 46 days that are remaining, 47 days that are remaining, I'll be asking people if they'd like to share their story here as well, or if they've got a comment to make. So, but that's not necessarily their stories. That's them also reflecting on this theme of friendship, and the stories that will make the fruit of the friendship tree. They won't necessarily be here on the 100 days, but they're the things that we're going to harvest at the end of this agenda. Maybe not the most exciting video you ever watched, but just generally part of this flow, and certainly in aggregate, as I look back, I think these comments will be very helpful. So I just want to say special thanks to everyone who's been following along, for your love, for your interest, for your comments. That for me, it's been incredibly encouraging. It's been good to know that there's a sort of a conversation of sorts emerging, and you know, I'm looking forward to it. Pardon the pun, bearing fruit soon. So welcome any comments, and thanks for following. Cheers.